an unfortunate image for lots of people. Women don't like being cast as servants because they already do too much of it. Minorities the same. So here's my thought of a Rutenso leader. A Rutenso leader is a host. A host is somebody who entertains and receives guests and brings them together for a purpose. Does the host act as a hero? Yes, sometimes. They decide what the purpose is going to be. They make the invitations, they create the space, they take a lot of decisions, they take responsibility and accountability. Do they act as a servant? Yes, sometimes. When you invite people in, of course you're providing for them. You have food and drink. You're introducing them to each other. You're helping make connections. Right? And a host, I suggest, works on this whole spectrum in between the hero and the servant. And this is one very important form of adaptive capacity. I know you had Warren Bennis here very recently. He spoke about this idea. It's very, very powerful. Adaptive capacity. The leader has the adaptive capacity to move around on this spectrum from hero to servant and back again. And there's a whole other lecture in this slide and what more we can say about this. I wanted to give you a couple of examples of host leaders. This guy over here, Chris Anderson of TED. I hope you're all fans of TED.com. His wonderful talks on the web. Chris Anderson hosts and curates TED. And he invites the world's finest experts and speakers to give the talk of their lives in 18 minutes only. And hosts some phenomenal conferences in Long Beach and also in Europe where these talks happen, and then puts them on the web for free. Phenomenal community, phenomenal sharing of stuff, but within a framework that's very strictly controlled by Chris and his team. Phenomenal guy. The other phenomenal guy, Dr. Ivan Meisner of BNI, is a host leader in a slightly different way. What Ivan's group does is they bring people together in 6,000 locations around the world. Every week, 6,000 groups meet and do good stuff together, and good interactions, and create new things using frameworks, formats, and rules devised and modelled and shown by Ivan. And I think both of these, in their own ways, are fantastic examples of what it means to be a host leader as opposed to a driving leader. So just a quick summary before I finish up here. These are the things we've been talking about with Rutenso. Change is happening all the time. Identify the direction. Look for what's working. Take small steps. Use and learn from difference. Leaders host and enable. And this stuff is in use all over the world, in all of these kinds of bits of management, with these organisations and many, many more. I'm not going to dwell on this slide. I just want to tell you, this is not some sort of half an idea. This is out there now, making a real impact. So, last piece then. We have time for questions. A story of small steps. The rolling English hills off the edge of Dartmoor in southwest England. Just in the middle of all of that, you can see the spire of an abbey church. And that is the Abbey Church of Buckfast, one of my favourite places to go and relax and recuperate. There is a picture of the Abbey Church of Buckfast. As you can see, it's pretty major construction. It's built of stone. There's another angle on it. You see the people there. You get the scale of this. This is a big abbey. Other pictures here of the monks and the inside and so on. Okay, I have a question for you. How many monks does it take to build an abbey like that? How many monks does it take to build an abbey like that? Have a guess. 100. Good guess. Thank you. Somebody else? None. No, that's cheating. No. Okay, they could subcontract it. No. The monks built this for themselves. Let me tell you. How many months did it take to build this abbey? 6. 6 monks built that. Right? And here's the small step that helped them to do it. As you probably know, the monks were thrown out of England at the time of the Reformation in 15 something like that. They came back in 1880. They built a place to live on this site. And in 1897, they had a kind of a drawing of an abbey that they wanted to build. What else did they have? Here's everything they had at that time. They had £5 cash money. They had the loan of a cart from a neighbouring farmer. And they had one monk who had a set of stoneworking tools. And the abbot said, the chief monk said, right, that's enough, let's get on with it. So here's the first small step. We take the cart down to the quarry. We pay the quarry people £5 to get a load of stone put in the cart. We bring the stone back to the site. The one monk who has tools starts working and starts teaching the others. That's 1897. In 1932, the abbey is consecrated, 35 years later. And 6 monks, never more than 6 at a time, built that whole thing. It's phenomenal. And I've been there and met them. The last one who was involved died just a few years ago. And they say that this is absolutely true, but you couldn't do it now. Because they made their own safety equipment, or they didn't have any. They made their own scaffolding out of bits of wood. The whole thing was a complete lash-up. But in the early 1900s, you could get away with that. And now you couldn't. There's all sorts of laws about it. But if you're ever down in the southwest of England, take the chance to go and see this phenomenal place, built starting with £5 and a cart. Unbelievable. So my thought for you, as I finish up today, is thinking about everything you've heard tonight, and thinking about the challenges that you're facing. What's your small step that you're going to take tomorrow? Thank you very much.